I also rise to take note of the answers given by the Minister for Mental Health and in relation to the workers' compensation legislation and the current proposals for change. I take note of the remarks of my colleague, the Honourable Stephen Lawrence, that the Minister for Mental Health is primarily responsible for mental health services. But surely all ministers are responsible for more than just the provision of services. Surely they are all responsible for policy and for imagining the type of New South Wales in which we all want to live. We have worked very hard in this state over a number of years to ensure that we don't just talk about broken leg health or lung health or mental health, that we don't put people suffering from mental health off in a box that we used to call Bedlam, apart from the system, that people with mental health are recognised as having comorbidities, mental and physical, and that we've integrated mental health into our system. One of the most pernicious things that this workers' compensation legislation does is to treat people with psychological injuries different to those with physical injuries, to say that you have to reach a higher threshold of psychological injury before you can receive compensation than of physical injury, that somehow psychological injury isn't as harmful as physical injury, so you have to meet a higher threshold. This undoes decades of work to stand up for those with mental illness and to say, doesn't matter whether it is your psyche that is injured or your hip that is injured, you are injured and you deserve support equally. Health is health. Mental health is mental health. The other thing that this legislation does, and in fact I think it was exactly the same expert that the Honourable Stephen Lawrence was referring to, is imposes a threshold on those with psychological health to receive continuing benefits that all the evidence we have heard at all the inquiries establishes almost nobody can satisfy. I believe we've heard from lawyers and psychiatrists that about one person in 25 years would have met the threshold that this government is now proposing to impose.